Hey, this is Jeff, and welcome to Fallout New Vegas. I'm going to be revisiting Belthan's Coito Ergo Sum for a couple of reasons. The very first video I did on Belthan's channel were a series of answers to frequently asked questions about the mod, very much how to get from point A to point B, where to find the next clue to solve a mystery, that kind of thing. So I talked over or cut or didn't even record a bunch of stuff that wasn't necessary for the Q&A format, but I thought would make pretty interesting Let's Play style walkthrough, more like what I did for Quo Vadis and Fallout 4. Also, the old series started with version 1.0 of the mod, and it's up to, I think, 3.3 now. So there's a lot of new content that wasn't in the mod yet back then, and some features that did exist have changed quite a bit. And most importantly, as is befitting a New Vegas mod, the player's actions have a significant impact on the outcome of the quest, so I can show you the consequences of making different choices than I made the first time. Plus, that series featured a brand new first-level female character straight out of Doc Mitchell's house, and as she leveled up, she ended up being completely optimized for persuasion. She could pass any speech challenge in the game, but she had the mathematically minimum possible hit points and combat skills, so there were some places she just couldn't go. This time I'm using my main character, so I can show you the differences when the Courier is male and can actually survive some of the more dangerous locations and events in the game. This is Courier Jeff, who started off as an attempt to mirror my real-life attributes, but right now he's level 32. Not quite as superhuman as Lone Wanderer Jeff that I used for the Quo Vadis walkthrough, but quite a bit more badass than real-life Jeff. I'm starting from a save game right before confronting Benny, which I always make a save there for any character I think I might play more than once, because that's the last point before you get the reputation reset from the Legion and the NCR. Speech, sneak, science, and guns are maxed. Lockpick is close enough that I can pick a master lock if I use a magazine, and my other skills range from pretty good to mediocre. I think I have all the implants except the one for hit point regeneration, and I've taken a few ranks of intense training, so my special stats are all pretty good. Intelligence 10 to maximize my skill points, obviously. Luck 9 for criticals and gambling. I took the skilled trait, which gives you +5 to all of your skills when you create a character, at the expense of a permanent 10% XP penalty, which at low levels you barely notice, but at this point leveling up is starting to be a fairly infrequent event. Probably the most noteworthy thing about Courier Jeff is his faction reputation. He's idolized by the Boomers, Caesar's Legion, the Followers of the Apocalypse, Freeside, Good Springs, the Great Khans, the NCR, Novak, and the Strip. Liked by the Brotherhood of Steel, because you can only be idolized by them after you complete Lonesome Road, and I haven't done any of the DLC yet. And mixed with the Powder Gangers, because I've done them a few favors, but they didn't like it when I sided with Good Springs during Ghost Town gunfight. So I try not to be a judgmental dick, but like the rest of the stat sheet, my character is better at that than I am in real life. Maxing out your NCR reputation without pissing off the Legion is actually pretty easy, but the reverse is not true. Most of the quests that gain Legion fame are only available after you talk to Caesar, which I obviously haven't done yet since I haven't confronted Benny yet. So I got to idolized mostly by farming NCR dog tags. You can avoid NCR infamy when you kill NCR troopers if you get a one-shot sneak attack with a silenced weapon and no witnesses, but that's not what I did. I actually trolled locations where NCR troopers respawn near fiends or Legion or dangerous creatures, and then scavenged dog tags off the casualties. Plus, there are a ton of dead NCR with dog tags at Guardian Peak and a couple of other locations. And Freeside is a little tricky too. I'm pretty sure that questing can only get you up to liked with them as well. And then you have to bribe James Garrett to spread rumors about how cool you are to get the rest of the way to idolized. Anyway, in addition to Coito Ergo Sum, I'm using a few other mods I can't live without. Invisible Wall Remover by Urbex, which does exactly what it says. New Vegas is notorious for abusing invisible walls, and I had a couple rants about that in previous series. So when I found this, it was like greatest mod ever. The Enfield rifle by Hennikel and Koch. If you saw the Quo Vadis walkthrough, this is by the same people and very similar. Slightly more damage than a vanilla sniper rifle, but it's a bolt action, so the DPS is actually lower. Definitely not overpowered gameplay-wise. In fact, maybe a bit underpowered at level 32 on very hard difficulty, but it's a sentimental value thing. Belthan's UUFB, which if characters are wearing skimpy outfits, which in Coito Ergo Sum they will be, but you don't have a female body replacer installed, which I don't, UUFB removes the black, underwear tattoo shading that they would otherwise have. I'm not using any ENB or texture packs, just to make sure I get a decent frame rate while recording. And I'm using 2 mods I made myself. One of them just adds a bunch of fast travel markers to locations that force you to go through unnecessary loading screens, like the Strip or the Old Mormon Fort. I know there are other published mods on the Nexus that do the same thing, but mine just has them where I like them and doesn't do anything else. And the other one is a port of Belthan's Face Gen race from Fallout 3. I don't know why he never made a version for New Vegas, maybe because the custom races in Coito Ergo Sum do the same thing, but I had this character long before I had Coito Ergo Sum, and what it does is, well, not exactly complicated, but there's a program called Face Gen Modeler that, among other things, lets you create a 3D model of a person's head from photographs of their face. I originally used that for a machinima music video for a band I was in years ago, but once I had a 3D model of my head, it was like, oh yes, I will be playing the game as myself now. But if you export the FaceGen parameters and import them into a save game, which, by the way, there's a mod called FaceGen Exchange that does that, it doesn't look like you if you use the default races in the game. So FaceGen Race adds a new playable race to the game, and if you start a new game, choose the FaceGen Race when you create your character, and then import the FaceGen parameters into your save file, it looks a lot more like your 3D model. So this looks as much like me as any character in Fallout can be said to actually look like a real human being. And I currently have Eddie and Raul as companions, but I'm going to send them back to the Lucky 38. Coito Ergo Sum is generally pretty light on combat, but there's one part in particular that's just brutal, and I'm playing in hardcore mode, so companions aren't immortal, and I don't want them to get killed. I'm not really a big fan of hardcore mode, but I turned it on when I started this character for whatever reason, and I'd feel like a wuss if I turned it off, so we'll be in hardcore mode on very hard difficulty. So, the first major difference between 1.0 and the old series and now is how the quest starts. Back then, you either had to stumble across the first location while exploring or read the cheat sheet to figure out where it was. Now, after you install the mod, the first time you step outside in a safe, populated area, you get a kind of salesman guy who runs up and tells you about it. So I'm going to swing by the Lucky 38, see if I have any equipment I need stashed there. I don't think I do. I'm pretty sure that everything is here at the follower's safe house. But it's as good a location as any to start the quest. And you'll get to see one of the new map markers added by my extremely sophisticated mod for the Lucky 38. I thought I had Rex here, but apparently not. I know I don't have any of the human companions. I don't think at this point in the game I had ever even talked to Veronica or maybe even Arcade. In fact, maybe not even Boone. I know I've talked to Cass because you have to talk to her as part of the Crimson Caravan quests.
High roller, sweet.
And down to the casino.
Casino floor.
Pardon me, sir. Interested in the finest entertainment available for the discriminating gentleman? Perhaps even an employment opportunity? Tell me more. Just go to Lollipop Saloon. It's on Route 160. Folks around here call it Blue Diamond Road. Food and drink, entertainment, and companionship. All in an exclusive yet relaxed atmosphere. And starting off with speech checks I can't pass already. Great. Well, that's pretty far. Most touts operate within a block or two of their establishment. It's Lollipops, my friend. A global entertainment empire. Well, it was before the war. Now it's more of a regional operation. But we still cast our net far and wide. Okay, I'll check it out sometime. Thanks for your time. Enjoy yourself. And that now starts the quest, Coito Ergo Sum. That's the main quest. There are a number of side quests. The saloon is right over the hill from the tribal village, and I'm sure that the cazadores have respawned there since the last time I played. So I think I'll not fast travel into the middle of that. And luckily it's nighttime, so that should give us a slight edge anyway. The very first video I ever did was showing how to get from Goodsprings to Lollipops, bypassing the cazadores. You can kind of go behind Doc Mitchell's house and up over the hill there. Which is almost tempting, but, you know, I'm supposedly a badass and all that, so let's go kill some bugs. Probably would have been quicker to go to Goodsprings Cemetery and walk down over, but oh well. Keep out. Nah. There's a cazador nest. Oh, yeah. Yeah, without Eddie along, my radar isn't nearly as good. Oh, alright, there we've got a couple of blips. Ow. Should have used some antivenom, but it's too late now. It's already, the poison's worn off. Heal a little bit. I've picked up some very bad habits from Fallout 4, I think. The sneak attack situation is a little bit different. You can get a... Oh, there's the Lollipop sign. Which I should not get distracted by. Great. I'm gonna get killed by a, you know, baby cazador. That would be a great start to the series. Yeah, in Fallout 4, you can get a sneak attack if you're hidden or in caution. But in New Vegas, you can only get a sneak attack if you're hidden. You get just normal attacks if you're in caution or danger. And there are a lot more weapons in Fallout 4 that you can add silencers to. There aren't many at all in New Vegas. So I'm used to getting, you know, a whole clip of sneak attacks. And I'm only getting one here, so... And I have to heal again. And those poison glands are worth 85 a pop, so... Well, it's not like I really need money at this point, but... Well, good. Look on the bright side. And there's the lollipop sign. So if you come this way or from the other way, you can get that, see a billboard and it kind of points you in the right direction, which was not there in 1.0. But yeah, starting off the series with a little bit of humility, got a little overconfident there, and that'll learn ya. There's another sign that points you up the hill once you've made the turn off the main road. And I'm sure there are more down in the tribal village itself. But I see no reason to pick a fight with them. The road continues on up over the hill here. I'm not sure how much of this is in the vanilla game, like that intersection and the signs. I don't think that stuff is there. Obviously, I know the Lollipops billboards aren't, but I'm not sure about the whole, the three-way intersection where 160 turns up the hill here and all that stuff. There's Chance's grave, and it might not be immediately obvious, but a little bit of poking around, that rock slide has covered up the road where it went up.
I've got you now.
Hello? Oh, that's probably the the weird settlers that respawn at the same time as the cazadores. They're supposed to be dead. They're supposed to be victims, lore-wise, but they respawn too, so they get instantly killed. And here's another difference between 1.0 and the new version. That little hill over there, you used to just walk over that. Now, when you get to a certain point, you get this message that Route 160 continues toward Mountain Springs, and we will walk there, and then it kind of teleports you over the hill. And there's the rock slide from the other side. So we should be pretty safe now. And Lollipops is down here at the bottom of the valley. I'm not 100% sure why the rock slide works differently. You used to be able to just walk over it, and now it's a teleport trigger. Here's a little drawbridge kind of thing that would get you onto the roof if it was lowered. And at the other end, there's another rock slide, which we will eventually find out where that road would have gone as well. But I think it was to resolve a conflict with another mod that puts stuff out here in the previously unplayable world space. And before I forget, I'm going to hotkey my stim packs because that was a little dicey with the cazadores. And here we are in Lollipops. I'm going to turn the jukebox off so that we just don't run into any copyright Nazis.
Most are calling the static quote.
And this is the switch that lowers that ramp. In fact, let's go out and check that out while I'm thinking about it. There's the bartender, but we'll talk to him in a minute. So now you see the drawbridge is down. There's some loot up here. Probably most important for me is a weapon repair kit. There's some ammo, but I think that's just shotgun ammo in there. Some empty shells, used shells, and cigarettes. And I know there's something back here, but I don't... yeah, just a hammer. So yeah, basically weapon repair kit. Free beer. And a little lawn chair to relax in. I think I'm gonna catch my breath after that mess.
Welcome to Lollipops. You just found yourself the world's premier adult entertainment company.
By adult entertainment, you mean prostitutes, right?
Much more than that, friend. Strip clubs, dirty magazines, skin flicks, holo games, lingerie, sex toys. If it'd get you horny, Lollipops made it.
Shouldn't Premier anything be on the Strip, not the ass end of nowhere?
Was a time whoring was illegal, except overseas and parts of Nevada outside the big cities. If you wanted to gamble and watch showgirls swing the titties at you, you went to the Strip. If you was looking for real action, the ass end of nowhere was where it was at.
Looks like you're screwed then. Location is everything, and yours sucks.
You think I ain't figured that out? But it'd be a damn shame to leave a cozy setup like this, and them clubs on the Strip don't want no competition moving no closer. We need to draw, something you dodge hungry critters and spend your last cap to get some.
You're living in the past. Prostitutes are everywhere, and that other stuff is long gone.
Ain't necessarily so. Golden Globes has been making skin flicks up in New Reno for years, but Lollipops was the original. You put this logo on it, gives it a certain, what's the word?
Je ne sais quoi?
Nope, that ain't it. It's more like, I don't know what.
That's funny, because je ne sais quoi means I don't know what. I think the term you're struggling with is class.
That's it. Now, feast your eyes on this.
A porno magazine? So?
Look at the date. That's less than 5 years ago. Fellow what gimme that said it was Larry Slater himself published it, with some help from a vault dweller. Well, that part's bullshit, but if somebody else can do it, I reckon I can too. I got a better claim to the name anyway.
You think magazines and videos will bring customers out here?
Maybe some, but you're missing the big picture. Slater started off with nightclubs, but Lollipops magazine made him rich, and the vidges made him richer than the devil.
You might get more business if you had better staff.
Couldn't hurt, but there ain't much we can offer you can't get easier and safer in town. They got women, they got men, you want something squishier, they got ghouls, you want something stiffer, they got sex bots.
I think I recruited most of them for the Garretts. People want to tell their bartender their problems, not the other way around.
I ain't this chatty with every yokel wanders in here. I could use a mover and shaker to help get the business back on its feet. You got to look.
Movers and shakers don't come cheap.
I reckon not. You get what you pay for. Finder's fee's $200, $250 she got more teeth and scars. Or if you want to cut, you can buy in. We split the profit by shares. 100 caps a share, but I ain't selling more than half my stake.
Now, I have over 100,000 caps I could easily buy in, but I'll explain why I'm not in a minute. I'll work on commission till I see if I like it.
Suit yourself, but if business picks up, share price goes up. Smart money buys in at the bottom.
Oh, you are absolutely right about that, my friend. But right now, let's talk about the mysterious stranger who gave you that porno magazine.
He ain't mysterious. He's mental.
Why do you think he's crazy?
He walked here from D.C., his mama lived in a vault, he knows Larry Slater, and he's on a secret mission for the Brotherhood of Steel. If you believe all that, I got a dam for sale.
Couldn't he be telling the truth?
It's all storybook stuff, and he got his stories crossed up some. See, Larry Slater run Lollipops back in the 21st. He built a vault for him and his cronies with shit he stole from Vault Tech, and the Federales hung him for it more than 200 years ago.
Where can I find him?
Hell if I know. He come in here like some hotshot from the head office expecting a handout, so I run him off. Before he left, he give me that magazine, so I told him nobody's seen hiding her hair of the Brotherhood since the NCR whooped her ass. He might have got it in his head to ask them, in which case they most likely shot his crazy ass as a spy.
Enough about him.
I reckon so.
I'm ready to start making some money. What needs done?
See them black boxes? Supposedly there's some kind of computer what shows dirty pictures. Sounds like a bunch of hooey to me. Every terminal I ever seen was just a bunch of green words. But if you can get 'em working, I'll buy you a beer.
All right, see you later.
Go get 'em, Tiger.
The black boxes Hilly was talking about are Luma screens, which are indeed a sort of programmable flat-screen display, and they've lost the connection with their server. If you go over to one and activate it, which isn't actually required to complete the objective, you get an error message that gives you a little hint about how to fix the problem. I happen to know the controller it mentions is in the basement, and there's an elevator around the corner which lets you access all 4 floors of the building, so let's go downstairs. It's dark down here, but like almost every location in this mod, there's a light switch so we can see what we're doing. There's a bunch of junk, which I'm not going to bother looting, and several terminals. This one is a printing press console. Around the corner, there's a door that requires a key and a terminal that requires a password. There's rolls of paper and cans of ink, presumably for the printing press. There's a storage room in here with another light switch behind the cross ties. Doesn't really look like they're using it for much at the moment. Down at this end, we have a workshop. And another light switch. There's a reloading bench and a workbench. And a boatload of containers which don't respawn. So if you like having a lot of options to sort and store your loot, this will definitely scratch that itch. And in the office, we have these people.
I'm occupied. If you're a customer, see the staff. Otherwise, see the owner. Thank you.
I'll save you the trouble. Her terminal isn't the Luma screen controller either. In fact, I think I'll just leave, close the door, and let you two do whatever you're doing and... Oh, look at that. So yes, I already knew it was there. One of the top questions in the first walkthrough was how to find it, but I just recently realized it's more like a joke than a puzzle. Like you take one look at them, just kind of back away slowly, close the door, and boom, there's the controller. And back upstairs, there's a working Luma screen. You can switch the pictures, but I'll show you that later when we have more to choose from. Anyway, let's tell Hilly we fixed the problem.
What can I do you for?
I fixed the Luma screens.
So I seen. They sure is pretty. Have a beer on me.
What's up with the freak show in the basement?
Squatters. Come in with that fella what gimme the magazine. Purty one said they was whores, wanted to stick around. Ain't done much whoring, no. Must have found something real interesting on that terminal.
Want me to get rid of them?
Reckon not. They ain't doing no harm. You never know when they'll get a customer. Though after the last one, maybe not.
The last one?
Fella come in all depressed about somebody or other got killed in the war. Probably figured Cazadores had put him out of his misery, but here he was. Had him a little chat with our girl, paid up, and she sicked that big boy on him. F***ed that man to death, shat blood, and died.
That's both disgusting and extremely unlikely.
God's truth. Busted him up inside, I reckon. Good thing Debbie knows her way around a mop and bucket.
Nice. Any idea what she's looking for?
Nope. He nosed around the basement some, then she saw the terminal, told her friend she was staying. He got weepy for a bit. Then he unlocked that big door, went through, and locked it behind him. Just as well, I reckon.
I thought you said you ran him off.
He ain't come back, has he?
So where's the door go?
Couldn't tell you, but they say Larry Slater had a tube train took him straight to any lollipops in the world, even Asia. But that's bullshit. That one had to be an elevator. Funny how time can twist a story.
You want me to tell people we're hiring?
Not people, hookers.
Hookers are people, Hilly. Maybe that's your problem.
If you say so.
And this might be a reference to Quo Vadis, because it had a very similar quest, but you recruited exotic dancers instead of prostitutes. So what about strippers?
Thought I explained that. Customers ain't gonna leave the safe little strip and mosey on out here just to see some titties. Of course, now that you mention it, if them whores would get on stage and shake the ass when they ain't got a customer, might liven the place up some.
Okay, I'll see about recruiting some hookers.
Here's some help wanted posters I printed up a while back. Damn things get tore down fast as you put 'em up, but paper's cheap.
And that starts the side quest positions available. How would we go about publishing a magazine?
Ain't nothing to it. Convince somebody to get naked, take pictures, scan the film into the terminal, set the layout, and hit print. Machines do the hard work, then all you gotta do is sell 'em.
Well, I do have the camera that Michelangelo gave me to take pictures of landmarks because it's a quest item and I can't drop it.
Well, that's good, but it never hurts to have a backup. Check this out. Takes good pictures and folds up real small so you can sneak it in places where you ain't supposed to.
Where can I do a photo shoot?
I was thinking you'd just charm their pants off and snap away. But now that you mention it, some of 'em might get sexier if they ain't worried their neighbors is peeking. Storage room would make a good studio. In fact, it used to be one. I'll get it cleaned out and presentable.
And that starts the side quest, A Picture is Worth 1,000 Caps, which is also very similar to a quest of the same name in Quo Vadis. Once I have pictures, how do I print a magazine?
Big gizmo bottom of the elevator. Terminal offloads pictures from your camera, lets you put in your editorials, interviews, articles, and whatnot. Then you just set the layout and hit the print button.
Why is there a printing press in the basement of a brothel?
When Lollipops first started doing hardcore, a bunch of do-gooders tried to shut them down. Said f***ing for money was whoring, even if you film it. Went all the way to the Supreme Court, but Larry Slater hedged his bets meantime. Put a studio and print shop where whoring was legal.
Why does a porno magazine need interviews and editorials?
So prissy folk can claim they just read it for the articles. Honey won't let 'em buy a folder full of dirty pictures. You sell more that way.
How do I set the layout? Couldn't the computer just arrange content to fit the page?
Lollipops magazine had a formula. I reckon it'll do us just fine. Your cover girl should have a hook. Somebody famous you never thought you'd see naked, or somebody real exotic. They called the pictures up front the foreplay pictorial. She was always the purtiest one, get 'em warmed up. Pictures in back was the big finish. Them girls was so sleazy you could smell it. Get your rocks off every time.
Enough about production.
I told you, there's nothing to it.
All right, let me know when the studio's ready.
You betcha.
Making holovid sounds interesting.
Damn straight it does, but I ain't got the equipment.
All right, see you later.
Have a good one.
Now, Hilly was a fantastic character to voice because a few people love him and a lot of people hate him, but he always gets a reaction. And if you hate him, one of the things added since version 1.0 is an alternate way to start and finish those quests even if he has an accident. But Courier Jeff isn't the kind of person who'd murder a guy just for being a sexist pig. Instead, I'm going to collect the finder's fee for as many people as I can hire without doing any advertising or saloon upgrades. I'll show you the word dramatic later. So revenue stays flat, but expenses go through the roof, drive the business into the ground, and I'll buy them out once the shares are basically worthless, and then start doing things to attract more customers. It's almost worse than killing him, but the game's karma system will never know. The layout terminal has a README for new editorial staff, which basically says the same thing Hilly told us about setting a layout to make the most money, but we'll cover that when we get into the magazine quest. But if Hilly dies before you start the side quests, this terminal will have slightly different entries on it, and that's how it would start those side quests. An entry about the compact camera, which Hilly gave us. Staff recommends Kodak A30XS compact camera for extreme portability and high quality, where rugged and conspicuous design and quick shooting are advantageous. State-of-the-art analog imaging technology allows a virtually unlimited number of photographs to be taken without time-consuming film changes. Images can be downloaded to a compatible layout terminal at any time. Footnote, see memo from Ms. Stone regarding First Amendment protection of artistic photography in jurisdictions where decency statutes prohibit public nudity, which explains why, unlike Michelangelo's camera, it doesn't need film. And an entry about the compositron algorithm. This terminal puts compositron technology at your fingertips without noisy robots, which they were in Quo Vadis. It will automatically place the model in a setting from stock art or environment photographs you provide, which explains why the magazine covers don't look like what you shoot with the camera. They're not real-time screenshots from when you're actually playing. In fact, let's get out the camera and see that. This was added by an update about halfway through the old walkthrough, so I did show it off a little bit there, but you basically equip it like a gun and take pictures during a photo shoot just for immersion. It isn't actually required at all. So like, if we take pictures of Debbie, yeah, she's working really hard at cleaning up the studio. Oh, and that beer just wore off. It doesn't actually do anything or take real screenshots. It's just to make it feel like you're a photographer when a photo shoot is in progress. Anyway, the next objective in the main quest is to find out what the handler is looking for. She's the woman with the bodyguard who doesn't wear pants in the office. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go take care of my dehydration and fatigue first. The kitchen has a sink with rad-free water. Very nice, especially if you're in hardcore mode. And I'm not sure if the beds and sleep sofa in the dressing room give you the well-rested bonus or not. Apparently not, but they do get rid of fatigue like any bed. Over here, we have a couple of posters for pre-war porno movies made by Lollipops, and believe it or not, they actually are kind of related to the plot. Some of these names will be important later. And I guess I can't put it off any longer. Actually, you know what? I can put it off a little longer. I'm going to call it a day, and we'll digitally blur some penis next week. See you then.